Hello everybody and welcome to the final extra video and final video for A Link Between Worlds. It's been a long time coming here, but it's finally done now. Today, we are going over Endless Cucco Rush and all of the insanity that I had to go through in order to get this here. It took several months, but let's do this. Okay, so let's get on with our Endless Cucco Rush. So like usual, you're going to talk to the Cucco girl and start up Endless Cucco Rush. Now, if there's anybody going out there, this is going to be a 1,000-second challenge. That's about 16 minutes in real time. Now, mind you, that's not how it goes. This is basically a challenge that's broken up into about 10 rounds, each lasting about 100 seconds each. Now, I'm going to be going over each and every single round, and it's going to be difficult, so trust me, you're in for a challenge. So our first round is 0 seconds to 100 seconds. Now, this in terms of difficulty, I would give it a normal. You are basically going to be just running around and pressing the pause button through most of it, so it's not really that hard. Now, in total for this round, it took me about 3 minutes and 43 seconds to get through this. Now, in this round, you're going to have to deal with giant cuccos moving fast. Now, what you're going to have to do in this round is basically press and unpress the start button. This is what's known as pause buffering. it basically gives you a half-a-second frame or half-a-second window to give you more time to process information, so it makes the rounds a lot more easier. Now, you can beat this round without using the pause button, but trust me, in later rounds, you're going to want to use the pause button. So I would recommend, just to start getting warmed up, start using it here so you know what to do. Now, in terms of just general strategy, just run around the entire ring, watch out, press the pause button when you need to, but overall, it's not a hard round. Okay, next we have 100 to 200 seconds. So this particular round is actually hard. It took me about 4 minutes and 19 seconds to get through this particular round. Now, this round includes normal cuccos in large groups moving moderately to slow speed. Now, this round is hard in terms of it's just difficult and you have a lot of stuff on screen. So my strategies for this is, if there's an area with big cuccos, run towards it so the random number generation of the cuccos kind of spawns in that area, because if you go towards any of the open spot areas, most likely they're going to spawn in that area, and then when you run towards the areas that are more clustered, you can end up getting hit pretty easily and end up losing here. So that's my recommendation. Now, again, use the pause button sparingly when you can. It's going to be a difficult round, but it's nothing you can't handle if you just take your time, observe the whole area of the ring, and you should be good. Okay, our next round, we got 200 seconds to 300 seconds. Now, this particular round is very hard. This is the first round that you'll encounter where most likely you will fail a lot. This is a hurdle in my terms of difficulty. Now, this particular round took me 5 minutes and 9 seconds to get through. Now, this round is slow-moving large cuccos in huge groups. Now, it's basically like the previous round, except imagine less space. Now, this round, I remember I failed a lot when trying attempts for this challenge for many months. This is a round that will kill you. Now, my recommended strategy for this round is pause often, keep moving, and don't get stuck in a corner. Because if you are stuck in a corner, this is how you lose. You have to be very vigilant of where you are and where the cuccos are flying towards. Because if you end up putting yourself in a corner, you could end up killing yourself sooner than you thought. You don't want to die. You only have one chance for the entire challenge, so we can't have that now. So we're going to move on to the next round, and it's surprising actually. Okay, so our next round is 300 seconds to 400 seconds. Now, this round is normal. Now, this round in particular, it only took me about 5 minutes and 42 seconds. It's longer than the last round, and generally that's how it's going to be from now on. But this round is really easy. It's basically small moving Cuckoos moving very fast, and it moves around the ring at a relatively quick speed. In my general strategy for this, stay towards the center. If you can run left or right to one side, you should be good with this round. This round is not going to be difficult. You should have an easy time, especially considering if you got through the last round, which was difficult in terms of just feeling claustrophobic. This round is more or less a breather, only because, well, we're getting closer to the worst round, but we're not there yet. But we'll be there soon. So run around and watch out for those fast-moving Cuckoos. Okay, our next round is 400 seconds to 500 seconds. Now, in terms of difficulty, I would rank it as a very hard difficulty. It's a lot more challenging. This round took me 6 minutes on the dot, surprisingly, to get through this round. Now, this round in particular is, I would say it's a mixture of all, because you're going to have the big Cuckoos, you have the Cuckoos flying overhead, and you also have the small moving Cuckoos. Now, this round in particular, you're going to have Cuckoos, the smaller ones, moving at moderately to normal speed, and then pretty slow moving large Cuckoos. But it's not really too hard of a challenge to manage. Now, in terms of strategy, just kind of run around the entire pin. Luckily for this round, it's not too difficult. You just have to keep your eyes out on the small Cuckoos. Only because if there's ever a big Cuckoo on screen, the smaller ones can pass through the big ones, and so sometimes you can get blindsided by random smaller Cuckoos just coming out of nowhere. So my general strategy for this round, just keep moving and watch out for the smaller Cuckoos. Now, this round, though it may be hard, it may be very hard, but the next round is the end-all round of the entire Endless Cuccoo Rush. This is a make-or-break round. Round 500 to 600. This is hell. This round is the longest round I had to go through. It took me 11 minutes and 43 seconds to get through. Slow-moving Cuckoos in large groups with fast-moving large Cuckoos in large numbers. This round is a test of patience. I cannot emphasize that enough. When I was going through this round, I had a mantra in my mind. I had to pause very often for this round and hold it there for a good 2 or 3 seconds, maybe even longer depending on when I felt like I was being overwhelmed. My mantra for this entire round is breathe. In this round, you will be tested beyond anything you have been shown thus far. This round is hard. This is a round that I failed many, many times. It is not an easy round to get over. Because this is an RNG, there's no memorizing a pattern. You will fail. You will fail many times. But you need to pause, you need to observe, and you need to get back up again. is, at this point, there's not much you can do except that. There are many times in this round I felt like I was going to lose, but you can pause, you can see an opening, you can breathe. Trust yourself. If you can get through this, it only gets easier. But you have to try and breathe. It's going to be difficult. But if you have enough courage and enough power to get through this, you have another round after this. Round 600 to 700 seconds. Difficulty is hard. It's not going to get easier from here, but I would say this is just going to be a hard round. This round took me 6 minutes and 47 seconds. Significantly less than the previous round, but it's still high up there at this point. Now, the things that you're going to have to deal with in this round is you're going to have to deal with the overhead Cuckoos, and then you're going to have to deal with large groups of the smaller Cuckoos moving at, I would say, slow speed. Now, the reason why this round is hard is, well, just the clusters of groups of the Cuckoos, but it's not anything you haven't dealt with before. You remember the 100 to 200 round, it's pretty much that right now, so it's a breather compared to what you've had to deal with before. It's pretty much the same strategy. Pause often, just be aware of the entire ring, but if you went past 500 to 600 seconds, you are doing very well. And this round should feel like a breather. It's not going to be the end of the world. If anything, it might even feel normal to you. It might even feel hard. It's just a matter of just testing and continuing through. But much like any other round, you can still lose here, but it should be more of a cakewalk compared to the hell that we had to endure before. So now, let's move on to an even further round. Next up, round 700 to 800. Now this is a very hard round. Now, the rest of the rounds from here on out are gonna be about this level. Now, this round in particular took me about 7 minutes and 14 seconds to get through this. Now, what you're going to be dealing with in this particular round is you're going to be dealing with everything again. Now, in particular, what you're going to have to deal with is you're going to have to deal with a lot of big Cuckoos moving slowly, and in fast moving smaller Cuckoos, and then the overhead Cuckoos. Now, I was actually confused by this round because I thought the previous round had overlapped with this round, so I thought it was just the big Cuckoos and the smaller Cuckoos, but the overhead ones do make an appearance a little bit into here. So I was a little bit confused by this round, but this round, in terms of strategy, the big Cuckoos are going to be less of a worry compared to the fast-moving Cuckoos that are smaller, only because they can blindside you coming out of nowhere, passing through some of these bigger Cuckoos. The bigger Cuckoos in this process don't really overwhelm you that much compared to previous rounds. They can appear in larger groups, but nothing too bad that you can't take care of, that you haven't really seen at this point. So, just be vigilant, watch out for those smaller living Cuckoos, because they can blindside you, and make sure you're not in a corner for those big Cuckoos to overwhelm you with their range. Okay, so now we're in the second to last round, 800 seconds to 900 seconds. Now this round is hard. Now this round took me about 7 minutes and 6 seconds to get through it. Now this round in particular, what you're gonna have to deal with is you're gonna have to deal with a lot of fast moving Cuckoos. It's a pretty annoying round because you're going to deal with fast moving Cuckoos and you're going to deal with the overhead Cuckoos again. Now, this round is kind of a breather before we get to our final round. Now, my general strategies, similar to the previous rounds where we had to deal with these fast-moving Kukos, just stay towards the center. Like, if you're gonna have to deal with these, just stay towards the center, be vigilant of these guys, because they can blindside you, but it's nothing too difficult to worry about. Just keep moving, and then get away from them, because you'll make it. Now, if you make it through this round, there's only one round left. And honestly, I've been to this last round at least twice before, and I've lost both of those times. But this final round, I had hope and determination that I would finally make it through. Our last round, 900 seconds to 999.99. 900 seconds to 999.99. I recognize this as hope. This is the end game, everybody. This is the end. If you get to here at this point, you are at the pinnacle. Now, this round is nerve-wracking. This round took me a total of 8 minutes and 59 seconds. This is the second longest round I had to endure, but I was able to make it through. Similar to my mantra that I had with the hell round, breathe. This is a round that is difficult, not necessarily for the sense that it's difficult. It is, but that feeling that you're almost there, but at any second you could lose. What you're dealing with in this round is everything. You're going to deal with everything here. You're going to deal with mildly normal speed Kukos, with normal speed small Kukos, and then the overhead Kukos like normal. Now in this round, breathe. You can get through this round. It's difficult, but you have to have determination to get through. There will be times where you will try to get through this round and it'll seem like there is no way out. Pause the game. Stare at the screen. You will find an opening. Trust me. There are times when I went through this round and it felt like I was going to lose. You can get through this round. Pause and breathe. This will test you. You are at the end. But it's at this point. If you can get through this, you can make it through anything. You can make it through this final round. Continue. Breathe. Believe in the hope and determination that you have. You can get through this. And if you can, well, there's only one last thing that is left for you that have mastered all 999.99 seconds of Endless Kuko Rush. And you become the Kuko Master. For this, you get 3,000 rupees. But at this point, you should have a maxed out rupee wallet. And you get this big Kuko that appears outside of the ring. And, well, there's an extra little thing that you get for the ending. And we're going to go over that right now with a little bit of extra thought about the ending of the game. Okay, so we are finally done, everybody. So this is the very end. If you're at this point, you're at the very end of the LP and there's nothing left to see. So what is the special thing that you get for beat an endless Kuko Rush? Well, later on, at the end of the credits, we're actually going to see a change to the cutscene. And that's it. There isn't really much else left for Endless Kuko Rush. Like, what you get is 3,000 rupees, and you get a big Kuko in front of the pen whenever you go over there. And is it the best reward ever? No. So, most of you probably ask, well, why'd you do it in the first place? And, well, my answer to that is, well, I felt it as a personal challenge to myself, because this is something that I saw as, like, almost an impossible task. Like, truthfully, not a lot of people have beaten this. It's very difficult. And for me to have beaten it just kind of puts a notch on my belt for myself. Something that I did. And one of my promises is, if I say I'm going to do a video about something, I'm going to do it. And this was one of these videos. It was a feeling that I couldn't really move on. I couldn't move on until I finished this. And, well, now that it's done, I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulder. And now I can move towards the future. And I can go into other things that I've had planned. But I needed to get this done first. So, in the end, this was a difficult challenge. Was it fun? No. No, I can't emphasize that enough. I gotta say, I honestly did not like this challenge. But, I mean, in the end, it's over and done with, so I'm at least happy with that. But, is there anything else, anything at all, that I want to worry about? Not really. So, we are going to move on to our next LP, and you'll see it soon. If anybody's been watching my channel, you know what's coming next. And so, let's look at our added change to the cutscenes. So you just go outside of the Kuko Ranch, and then there is the Kuko waiting for us. Hi. So yeah. So, with that being said, I would like to thank all of you for tuning into this video, because this was a long video. It took me a very long time to make this. It took me almost an entire year to make this. But now that it's over, I can finally relax. I can finally move on to other projects, and let's move towards the future now. Because, honestly, it's time to put this in the past. A link to the past. That was horrible. But thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. So next time, we're going to be jumping into a new adventure with some new faces and new backgrounds. So, as always, this is Legend of Zany Gamer signing off. Have a good day, have a good night, and I'll see you guys next time. May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce.